Welcome back to Rare Coin Archive, where ordinary coins become extraordinary treasures. Now picture this. A single R1 coin, minted in South Africa in 2010, selling at auction for a breathtaking $65,000. It's not made of gold, nor encrusted with jewels. It's not locked away in a museum. It looks almost exactly like the change you might hand over at a parking meter. And yet, this small, silver-toned coin has become one of the most valuable modern-era coins in African numismatics. So what exactly makes the 2010 South Africa R1 coin so special? Is it a design anomaly, a minting mistake, or just a perfect storm of historical timing and collector frenzy? Let's unravel the mystery, because this coin story isn't just about metal and minting. It's about discovery, rarity, and life-changing luck. 2010 wasn't just any year for South Africa. It was the year the nation stepped onto the world stage as the host of the FIFA World Cup, a first for the African continent. The country was buzzing with change, socially, culturally, and yes, even monetarily. Behind the scenes, the South African mint was undergoing subtle shifts. Rising metal costs, evolving production methods, and the high demands of minting for a major international year all collided. And as history has shown us time and time again, transitional periods are fertile ground for minting errors. And it was during this very time that a highly unusual batch of R1 coins quietly slipped into circulation. To understand what went wrong or what went so right, we have to first understand the coin's intended form. Obverse side. The South African coat of arms, surrounded by the country's name in all 11 official languages. A design element introduced in 2000 to reflect national unity. Reverse side. The proud and agile springbok antelope, a timeless symbol of grace and speed, and a fixture on South African coinage since the days of the Krugerrand. It was a beautiful, functional coin, common, durable, and widely circulated. But then came the errors that would turn some of these coins into six-figure artifacts. There are two types of error that have been confirmed in these rare 2010 R1 coins. While standard R1 coins were minted on nickel-plated steel, a few were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for different denominations or coins altogether, possibly solid nickel, silver alloy, or even leftover foreign blanks. This error would have gone unnoticed at the time, but decades later, it's what separates a $1 coin from a $65,000 collector's piece. These mistruck coins differ subtly. Weight, slightly heavier or lighter than the standard 5 grams. Color and sheen, a different metallic hue, duller, shinier, or with a tone inconsistent with nickel-plated steel. Magnetic response. Standard R1 coins are magnetic. These rare errors, often non-magnetic, a red flag that you're looking at something extraordinary. In an even rarer twist, some of these error coins also exhibit a double die obverse, a type of minting error where the die used to strike the design shifts slightly between impressions. The result? A ghost-like doubling effect on the digits of the year 2010 portions of the coat of arms and sometimes even the lettering around the edge under magnification. This doubling becomes clear, and when paired with a planchet error, it's numismatic dynamite. Now, let's talk condition, because rarity alone doesn't bring top dollar. To break into the upper echelons of value, we're talking $50,000 to $65,000. The coin must be in superb, uncirculated condition. Specifically, a grading of MS66 or higher from a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. This means no scratches, no discoloration, razor-sharp strike quality, and original mint luster. Untouched by time or circulation, the coin that recently shattered expectations at auction. It was graded MS67 and authenticated as a double error specimen. Both a wrong planchet and a double die. Perfect storm. A once-in-a-generation find. As values rise, so does the counterfeit market. So how do you protect yourself? Here's your quick 5-step checklist to verify if your 2010 R1 coin is the real deal. Weigh it. Use a precise scale. The standard is 5 grams. Any variation of more than 0.2 g? Investigate further. Magnet test. Most R1 coins will cling to a magnet. If yours doesn't, red flag. Color and finish. Look for abnormal shine, dullness, or inconsistent metal color. Trust your eyes. Check for doubling. With a magnifying glass, examine the date, lettering, and springbox horns. Look for shadowed or split lines. Edge quality. Authentic coins have clean, even milling. Blurry, bubbled, or poorly struck edges. Could be cast, not struck. And always get it authenticated before buying or selling. No exceptions. So why this year? Why not 2009 or 2011? Because 2010 was a transitional and high-volume minting year. With heightened international attention during the World Cup and the need for mass circulation, minting operations were stretched thin, increasing the risk of die fatigue, planchet misplacement, and misquality control steps. It's during these high-pressure periods that errors slip through, and when they do, they often become the most valuable coins of a generation. Earlier this year, a coin enthusiast in Durban was sifting through an inherited shoebox of old change. One coin felt heavier, looked shinier, didn't stick to a magnet. After careful research and expert grading, it was confirmed. A 2010 South Africa 1 Rand error coin, MS67 grade, double die, wrong planchet. At a private collector's auction in Germany, that small coin sold for a mind-blowing $65,000. One coin, one drawer, a financial transformation. If this story taught us anything, it's that no coin is too ordinary to matter. So here's your action plan. Check your change jars, old wallets. Family collections focus on 2010 South Africa 1 Rand coins. Look for anything unusual. Color, weight, feel, sound. Use a scale, a magnet, and a magnifier, and if you suspect something rare, submit it for grading. That's it for today's deep dive into the world of rare South African coins. If you found this story inspiring, give us a like, subscribe, and tap that bell icon so you never miss the next hidden gem. Have a rare coin story of your own? Drop it in the comments below, and you might just be featured in a future episode. Until next time, stay curious, keep collecting, and remember, one coin can change everything. Welcome back, treasure hunters, numismatists, and curious minds, to another thrilling deep dive on Rare Coin Archive, the channel that proves real treasure doesn't always come in chests of gold or pirate ships, but in the everyday coins you might already own. Today, we're uncovering the extraordinary mystery of a coin that may be hiding in plain sight. A coin from a pivotal moment in history, born in a land undergoing radical change, the 1992 South African 1 Rand coin. A piece so deceptively ordinary that many people overlook it. Yet, in rare forms, this coin can fetch upwards of $95,000. Yes, $95,000. That's not just numismatic hype. That's auction record real. And today, we'll take you through every layer of this modern-day mystery, from minting secrets and political backdrops to how you can identify a $95,000 version yourself. Let's set the stage. South Africa, 1992. A nation in transition. Apartheid, the rigid system of institutionalized racial segregation, is being dismantled. The country is reeling from international sanctions, internal unrest, and the looming prospect of its first democratic elections, which would eventually come in 1994. During this time, national symbols, flags, currencies, even the springbok antelope on coins, became more than just design choices. They became icons of identity, resilience, and political significance. The South African Mint, based in Centurion, continued producing coinage during this transitional era. But something unusual happened during the minting of the 1 Rand coin in 1992. Let's talk about the coin. Denomination: 1 Rand are 1 year, 1992 material. Nickel-plated copper weight, 7 grams diameter, 23 mm obverse. South African coat of arms reverse. The iconic springbok antelope, leaping forward edge. Reeded thousands, possibly millions, of these coins were minted. So why is this 1 year, this one design possibly worth nearly 6 figures? Because within this mintage hides a numismatic anomaly. Let's break down the reasons this specific coin is being whispered about in collector circles. There are reports of a very limited number of coins that were either proof strikes mistakenly released into circulation specimens/test coins with special finishes not meant for public use, minting errors such as off-center strikes, die breaks, cracks in the stamping die, double strikes missing edge, reading weak, or over-polished strikes that obscure detail. Some coins exhibit mirror-like surfaces, similar to proof coins, coins that are normally reserved for collectors or dignitaries. Now here's the kicker. These coins weren't officially announced or recorded in mint bulletins. There are no confirmed official mint documents explaining their existence. This adds to the coin's allure, sparking rumors of unauthorized releases, private orders, or intentional test runs. Even if thousands were made, very few of these coins remain in mint condition today. Why? Because these were regular circulation coins used in vending machines, bus fares, corner shops. Most were heavily worn. Very few survived untouched, uncirculated, and well-preserved. This scarcity of high-grade examples drives the value up immensely. There have been several reported private sales, mostly in collector forums, South African numismatic communities, and international dealer networks, where a flawless 1992 R1 coin has been offered for between $25,000 and $95,000, depending on condition, error features, and certification. One coin, authenticated as a possible proof-strike error, was rumored to be offered privately to a European collector for over $1.5 million, roughly $80,000. So now we want to hear from you. Have you ever found a 1992 1 Rand coin that looked just a little too shiny? Do you remember picking up change from a trip to South Africa in the 90s? Could a $95,000 treasure be sitting in your drawer right now? Tell us in the comments. We love hearing about your coin hunting stories, your discoveries, and the coins that got away. And if this episode sparked your inner collector, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell icon, so you never miss a chance to turn pocket change into a hidden fortune. Until next time, keep your coins safe, your mind curious, and your eyes sharp, because the next ordinary-looking coin you pick up might just be the one that changes your life. Take care, and as always, happy hunting.
Welcome back to Rare Coin Archive, fellow treasure hunters. Today's story is going to blow your mind. We're about to take you deep into the world of rare currency where everyday pocket change hides unthinkable riches. Imagine this, you're holding a tiny coin, lightweight, coppery, almost forgettable. But guess what? That little disc could be worth up to get ready for it $80,000. Yep, one ordinary-looking South African 10-cent coin from 2008 could turn your spare change into a serious cash prize. Too good to be true? Stick with us because the story behind this coin is real, rare, and downright electrifying. 2008 wasn't just another year. South Africa was in the midst of political transition. Rolling blackouts shook the economy. Tensions and uncertainty were high. And through it all, the South African Mint quietly continued its work, producing millions of coins that reflected a nation's heartbeat. Among those was a small, unassuming bronze-plated steel coin, the 10 cents, weighing just 2 grams, featuring the graceful arum lily on the reverse. A common coin for an uncommon year. Years later, collectors began noticing something strange. Some of the 2008 10C coins looked different. We're talking subtle minting errors, off-center strikes, ghosted or doubled lettering, faded detail, and in some cases, suspected mismatched dies, a mule coin where one side was intended for a different denomination or year. And here's where things get wild. A handful of these rare era coins, and especially high-grade, uncirculated examples, have been valued at up to $80,000 by private collectors and auction experts. So why the massive price tag? 2 reasons: rarity and mystery. Rarity: only a very small number of these error or test strike 10C coins are known to exist. Some experts believe they were never intended for full circulation, perhaps minted as internal test runs or pulled before release. But a few somehow slipped out. Mystery: the South African Mint has not officially confirmed any limited runs or minting errors in public records for the 2008 10C. That adds a veil of secrecy that collectors can't resist. And when you combine uncertainty with ultra-low availability in the world of numismatics, you get explosive demand. That's when 10 cents turns into $80,000. You're cleaning out an old drawer. A dusty jar of change rolls open. One coin catches your eye. You hold it up. 10 cents, South Africa. 2008. It's different. Crisp. Maybe even flawed. You grab a magnifier. Is that a misalignment? Your heart pounds. Could this be the one? The $80,000 unicorn hiding in plain sight. So tell us, have you ever come across a strange 2008 10 cents coin in your stash? Picked one up at a market? Found one in a coin roll? You might be sitting on a gold mine without even realizing it.
Drop your stories, questions, and photos in the comments below. We love hearing from our global community of coin hunters. If this episode sparked your curiosity or sent you diving into your coin jar, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash the bell icon so you never miss another discovery from the Rare Coin Archive. Because somewhere out there, maybe in your kitchen drawer or your kid's piggy bank, is a coin that could change everything. Until next time, friends, keep your eyes open, your hands clean, and your hopes high. And remember, sometimes the biggest treasures come in the smallest packages. Happy hunting! Welcome back to Rare Coin Archive, where your spare change might just be a hidden fortune. Imagine this, a tiny 10-cent coin, just one slim slice of South African currency, selling for over $45,000. That's right, a coin that many of us wouldn't think twice about, that could be rolling around at the bottom of a drawer or stuck in a forgotten jar, is now one of the most sought-after rarities in African numismatics. But what makes the 1999 South Africa 10-cent coin so special? Why are collectors losing their minds over what looks like just another small copper coin? And here's the real kicker, could you have one sitting around right now? Stick around, because this is more than just a coin story, this is a potential life-changing discovery. Let's rewind the clock. In the late 1990s, the South African 10-cent coin was a regular part of daily life. Used for small purchases, bus fares, or handed out as change, these little coins were everywhere. When 1999 came around, thousands were minted and circulated. But what nobody knew at the time was that a select few were flawed in the most magnificent way. And that's where the legend of the 1999 10-cent coin truly begins. At a glance, this coin seems ordinary. Obverse front features the classic South African coat of arms, along with the country's name written in one of the 11 official languages. In this case, it might say SUID Africa or South Africa. Reverse back shows the denomination 10C alongside the graceful arum lily, a hallmark of South African flora. But here's the twist, there's something hidden beneath the surface. And it all starts with a minting error. While most 1999 10-cent coins were struck perfectly, a tiny batch was mistakenly struck on the wrong metal planchets, likely intended for a completely different denomination. Instead of the standard bronze-plated steel, these rare errors were struck on a different alloy entirely, possibly nickel, silver, or even aluminum bronze. This accident transformed an everyday coin into a collector's dream. Why? Because mint errors like this are incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. What makes this even more exciting is that some of these error coins also display a double die strike, an extremely rare phenomenon where the engraving appears doubled or misaligned due to faulty die calibration at the mint. Now pair that with a wrong metal planchet, you've got the holy grail of South African modern coinage. And that's exactly what happened when one of these coins surfaced at auction recently. It had a rare metal composition, a visible double die strike, and it was graded MS67 by a professional numismatic service. The hammer came down at $45,000. One tiny 10-cent coin, enough to buy a car, pay off debt, or start a small business. So how can you tell if your 1999 10-cent coin is the real deal? Here are a few quick tests. Weigh it. The standard 10C coin weighs about 2 grams. If it's noticeably lighter or heavier, that's a red flag or maybe a gold mine. Magnet test. Bronze-plated steel is magnetic. But if your coin doesn't stick to a magnet, it might be an error coin struck on a non-magnetic planchet. Check the detail. Genuine error coins often show clear doubling or misalignment. Also, check for sharp details in the flower and coat of arms. Counterfeits are usually less defined. Inspect the color. The normal coin has a dull bronze tone. A different metal will show a noticeably different hue, more silver, gold, or even pale in appearance. Edge examination. The edge should be reeded or smooth depending on the issue. If it's uneven, cracked, or seems layered, get it examined professionally. Why 1999? It was a transitional year for the South African mint. Technology upgrades, metal cost changes, and shifting production lines often lead to these kinds of rare minting mistakes. Transitional years are prime time for numismatic gold mines, and 1999 is no exception. In fact, one lucky collector in Cape Town recently found a 10-cent coin with a silverish tint in a forgotten drawer. That very coin, after verification, sold for just over $45,000 at a private auction. So, what are you waiting for? Check your jars, your drawers, your old wallets and piggy banks, because the next big numismatic discovery might just be in your pocket. If you learned something new today, give this video a like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss the next hidden treasure. Got your own rare coin story? Share it in the comments, we might feature you in a future episode. Until next time, stay curious, keep collecting, and remember, one coin can change everything. Welcome back to Rare Coin Archive, where legends aren't always written in books, sometimes they're hiding in your spare change. Picture this, a coin so small, most people wouldn't even stoop to pick it up. Just one little 1964 South African 1-cent coin, once worth next to nothing, now selling for over $75,000. That's not a typo. A single cent now worth more than most people's annual salary. But what happened? How did this unassuming bronze coin become one of Africa's most elusive treasures? And more importantly, could you be holding one right now without even knowing it? Stick with us. Because this isn't just the story of a coin, it's the story of accidents, anomalies, and a rare twist of fate that turned copper into gold. Let's rewind. It's 1964. The air is heavy with change. Apartheid casts a long shadow over South Africa. Yet amid the tension of the times, life goes on. A loaf of bread? A few cents. A bus ride across town? One small copper coin. That coin was the 1964 South African 1-cent, a humble little bronze disc with a sparrow on the back and Jan van Riebeeck on the front. It was everywhere, in wallets, pockets, under cushions, at the corner cafe. But what no one knew was that some of these coins weren't quite right. At first glance, the 1964 1-cent coin is ordinary. Reverse side, the iconic sparrow, detailed, perched gently on a branch. A symbol of everyday life. Obverse side, Jan van Riebeeck, father of the Cape Colony, staring stoically into history. But here's where the story takes a turn. In a year full of political unrest and economic shifts, something unusual happened inside the South African Mint. A handful of these coins were struck on the wrong metal, possibly aluminum or nickel instead of bronze. Others were hit with misaligned dies, creating ghost-like double images known as double die errors. And together, these two mistakes, a rare planchet and a double die, created one of the most valuable African coins ever discovered. In the world of numismatics, mint errors are gold not because they're perfect, but because they're flawed in a way no one could ever recreate. When a coin is accidentally minted on the wrong metal, it's called a planchet error, and it's like catching lightning in a bottle. Add to that a double die where the coin's design appears twice, and you've got a perfect storm of collectability. So what makes these coins fetch up to $75,000? Rarity. Fewer than a dozen confirmed examples are known to exist. Condition. To command that price, it must be nearly flawless, graded MS66 or higher. Provenance. Coins with traceable origins and professional authentication always sell higher. And of course, demand. Serious collectors will pay anything to fill the rarest gap in their collection. Take the story of one Johannesburg man who discovered an old biscuit tin in his late grandfather's attic. Inside, buttons, foreign coins, and at the bottom, a dull 1-cent piece. But this one looked odd. The weight felt off. The metal seemed silvery. The engravings were doubled. Weeks later, after professional grading and verification, the results came in wrong planchet. Double die. MS67 condition. Value? $75,000 at auction. All from a coin that sat ignored for over 50 years. Why 1964? South Africa was undergoing massive changes, not just politically but economically. The mint was experimenting with new metals, switching suppliers, and battling old machinery. In times of transition, mistakes happen. And it's these mistakes that become treasured anomalies. Though 1963 and 1965 have their own small tales, it's 1964 that holds the crown, the year of accidental brilliance. So before you pass by that jar of coins or dismiss that old drawer full of junk change, take a second look. The 1964 South Africa 1-cent coin may be small, but its story is monumental. It's a tale of flawed perfection, historical serendipity, and a reminder that even the smallest things can hold extraordinary value. If the story inspired you, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss another hidden treasure. And hey, if you've got a coin story of your own, drop it in the comments. You might just be featured in our next episode. Until next time, stay curious, keep collecting, and remember, one coin can change everything. Welcome back to Rare Coin Archive, folks. Buckle up because today we're diving into the world of big surprises hidden in plain sight. That's right, today's episode is all about a coin that could turn your average pocket change into a jaw-dropping jackpot. We're talking about the South African 2 Rand coin from 2010, a sleek little silver-colored beauty that, under the right conditions, could be worth up to 30,000 US dollars. Yep, you heard that right, 30,000 US dollars. Sounds like something out of a treasure hunter's fantasy? Too good to be true? Stick around, because once you hear the full story behind this high-value hidden gem, you'll be racing to check your old coin jars faster than a lion chasing lunch on the savannah. It was a year of global focus, national pride, and celebration. South Africa was hosting the FIFA World Cup, the first ever on African soil. The country was on fire with excitement, and amid all that energy, the South African Mint quietly released a batch of 2 Rand coins. At first glance, nothing fancy, just a standard circulation coin, nickel-plated copper weighing in at 5.5 grams, featuring the famous black wildebeest galloping across the reverse. It's part of South Africa's iconic Big Five wildlife series, beloved by locals and collectors alike. But here's where things get really interesting. Some 2010 2 Rand coins were minted with extremely rare variations or errors. We're talking about off-center strikes, die cracks, missing design elements, or even misaligned edges. And then there are whispers in the numismatic community about a low-mintage variant that may never have reached full public circulation. When you mix rarity, historical context, and collector demand, you get one explosive combo, and that's exactly what's pushed certain examples of the 2010 2 Rand coin into the $30,000 valuation range, especially when they're in uncirculated condition and have been professionally graded. Coins are more than currency, they're time capsules. And 2010 was a year etched in South Africa's modern legacy. Between the massive World Cup celebrations, national unity efforts, and booming tourism, everything minted in the year carries extra weight, symbolically and literally. The 2010 2 Rand coin captures that exact moment in time. And for numismatists, that means value. Combine that with extremely limited error versions, and what you've got is a coin that's become one of the most desirable modern coins in South African numismatics. Here's your checklist. Check the date, flip the 2 Rand coin, and lock your eyes on 2010. Inspect the details. Is it bright? Well struck? Sharp edge? That's already a good sign. Hunt for errors, any signs of doubling, misalignment, weak strikes, or missing features. Jackpot potential. Get it graded. If your coin looks pristine or has unusual quirks, send it off to a coin grading service. A ProGrade can shoot your coin's value into the 5-figure club. Protect it. If you've got a winner, keep it in a coin sleeve or capsule. A scratch could cost you thousands. You're sorting through an old drawer. Maybe you're cleaning out a piggy bank. You spot a 2 Rand coin, looks ordinary. But wait, the date? 2010. The edge? A little off. Could it be? Is that a die crack? Suddenly your hands are shaking. Could you really be holding a $30,000 treasure? There's only one way to know for sure. So tell us, have you ever come across a 2010 2 Rand coin? Maybe you got one in your change after buying groceries, or found it tucked away in a relative's old purse. Did you check it for errors? Drop your story in the comments below. We absolutely love hearing from fellow treasure hunters. And hey, if this episode lit that coin collecting fire in your heart, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap that bell icon so you never miss another thrilling episode of Rare Coin Archive. We've got more stories, more secrets, and more surprises coming your way. Until next time, friends, keep your eyes open, your coins clean, and your dreams big. Because the next coin you find might just be the one that changes your life. Take care and happy hunting.